app. Download today.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting any large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery, online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Guys, you've heard me tell you all about Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, but it's not just me. Folks all over town are getting into shape with the FXB program. Guys like Ryan, who joined at the same time I did a year and a half ago.
Yeah, Mark, I'm in better shape than I have been in quite some time. The people at Farrell's are awesome. The instructors keep the workouts fun, and the owners are engaged and committed to the success of all of their members.
The next Farrell's 10-week challenge begins on October 7th, and ticket listeners get $150 off enrollment. Just head to theticketfm.com. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine, calm winds. Also, forecast for today, afternoon high should be around 78. Tonight, we'll see mostly clear skies with an overnight low of around 51. And tomorrow, more of the same, mostly sunny skies with an afternoon high of around 80. Meteorologist out 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! He's going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
A busy edition of On the Block coming your way. Heavy NFL Hour 1. We'll talk some Huskers and some USA basketball in Hour number 2. I'm Austin Norman, joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NBA vet, Big 8 Freshman of the Year, Taco Tuesday lover,
yes,
Thirsty Thursday lover,
Ooh,
Eric
can't
Strickland.
wait. Couple days.
What's good, Stricky?
And it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day to be alive. We found out some wonderful information once again. It never ceases to amaze me, the things that we learn being in here, the funny things we are able to share with one another as we prepare for a move to the downtown location. It is going to be epic. As
Progressing.
we make this move, man, it's going to be beautiful. I am happy to be a part of the team, and we're happy to have you join us. Thank you so much for all of those listeners, whether you be by stream, whether you be by X, whether you be by Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, as well as on the radio, and those who text into the text line. We're greatly appreciative of you and all that you do. We hope that you're well and safe on this wonderful Tuesday as we all just regather our thoughts after another troubling weekend. But there's some good news on the horizon. Hopefully the Huskers will go out to Stanford. Tough one. It's not going to be easy for them to go out there and get a game, but they've got the abilities. They look good. They look strong. They have resilience. They're inspired, and we're hoping that they can go out there and continue their winning ways.
And they're tested. They've played some pretty decent competition so far. Going on the road the first time to Stanford is going to be difficult. Plenty of history, between these two schools, Nebraska and Stanford on the volleyball court. But speaking of good news on the horizon, Stricky, Mary Ellen's back open tomorrow.
Mary Ellen's back open tomorrow. Yes. It might be a good time for me to go out there and have a taste of that sweet Southern heat once again. I will be in town, so I'm looking forward to a Mary Ellen's show up and for the team and Shunda and Charles and the crew. Look out, I'm on my way.
I'm coming. A couple things to get out of the way, too, before we get going. This hour, we are on radio. At 3 o'clock, the Royals are taking over. They are kicking us to stream. Their first game of the series got rained out last night in Chicago. So Royals and White Sox will come your way on the FM radio dial. First pregame starts at 3, and it'll take you all the way through just the straight doubleheader. So game 1, 3:40, 3:45 first pitch. Game 2 should start about 6:40, 6:45, somewhere in there. So listen to Strick and I on the radio while you can, and then follow us over to the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as Strick pointed out, or the free app for your phone, right? You're still driving around, you're headed home from work, whatever it is. You don't want to miss any of the show, but you can't watch it on a desktop or something. Download our free app. Just search 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. Plug us into your car. We're streaming. You can take us that way as well, audio only. So we'd appreciate if you did that. All right, Strick, we talked about some good news on the horizon, some bad news on the horizon for the New York Jets. Staring down the barrel of a season without Aaron Rodgers. 4 plays into his New York Jets tenure. Yeah. The wet, slippery turf at MetLife Stadium. The turf monster reaches up, grabs them. He didn't look, obviously thrilled. Didn't look like he thought there was any chance he was coming back from the play. Robert Saleh wasn't optimistic in the post game. Officially announced today, Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles tendon. Yeah. He is out for the season at age 39 years old. Yikes.
Yeah, Achilles is not one that is easy to return for him. I had one as well. The technology is a little bit better each year as it continues to grow, and you're going to have the best, not only people working on you, but your rehab and all of that. So it's you have a capability of returning, but the age is something as well, so trying to return off of something like that is it's not going to be very easy. Then you've got to look at the team has pretty much went all in with Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. They felt that was the missing link, the missing piece, the missing part of the puzzle to make it all come to completion. And to have it to happen on that, you didn't really see anything other than him trying to spin out that would look like it was that. So you hate that's the worst case scenario, because that's pretty much season ending.
Yeah, they announced today season ending. Yeah. And as old as Rodgers is, we might have seen the last of him. Yeah. I bet he tries to make a comeback, but at what level? I don't know. Aaron Rodgers isn't the most mobile guy, but he can do some good things in extending plays, in throwing on the run. Losing that Achilles, to plant on, to move around on, that won't be good for him in any way, shape, or form. But I'm glad you brought that up, Strick. Just how all in the Jets went, right? Rodgers restructured his contract to take a little less so they could go, sign some of his friends like an Alan Lazard. And then they go out and get a guy like Dalvin Cook, who the Vikings let go because Aaron Rodgers, helped them by freeing up cap space. Now they're stuck with Zach Wilson again. There aren't many great options out there. Like, you're between Zach Wilson, Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco, Nick Foles, maybe Matt Ryan is the best case scenario for the Jets. You basically just have last year's team with Dalvin Cook now, and that team finished last in the division.
Yeah, so there's 2 ways to look at it, right? Zach Wilson can look at it from an understanding of why you brought in him. Aaron Rodgers. Look back at your history with the team. Go back over old film and understand what you weren't doing right and incorrect. Look at even the training camp films. Get an understanding of some of the things that Rodgers was seeing, doing. Why did he make this throw here? Where did he place this throw? I mean, I would go back and just try to evaluate, even go back and just look at some of his best tapes and just kind of understand some of the stuff that he's seeing, right? So this is an opportunity for Zach Wilson to say, I've got to make it happen.
Now or never, basically.
The beautiful thing about it is the Buffalo Bills is a tremendous team. We already said we didn't know what direction they were going to go it's boom or bust, I think.
Yep.
Because there's so much turmoil within the organization, Diggs and, the Josh Allen situations back and forth. Is there some connectivity there? They've lost some of their best of their defensive guys. Obviously when they made the run that they made, and now it's kind of up in the air for them. You're able to pull out and get a big win because this happened early. So you can kind of take, some good vibes off of that win, some good confidence out of that win. And so I look at it from that standpoint. Zach Wilson wasn't bad, managed the game pretty well, 14 for 21, 142, nothing spectacular, 1 interception, but the rating wasn't too bad. So I think there's something there. Obviously, they leaned heavily on Breece Hall, 10 carries.
Really good coming back from injury.
My gosh, 127 off of 10. Dalvin got in there, 13 carries. So they had a good balance there. So you can see there's some things they can work off of that combination. So yeah, man, you just hope that you can turn it around and figure out a way to manage the season, win the division, and then just put yourself in a position to see how it goes. And then let your defense continue to do what it does.
That's just the thing. The defense really carried the night. I mean, Garrett Wilson had the touchdown catch. The offensive line didn't look good all night long, especially not in those first 4 snaps, the only 4 snaps Aaron Rodgers got. But 3 interceptions and a forced fumble off of Josh Allen, who continues to turn the ball over at a historic rate for the NFL.
Yeah,
I still
5 years, like 150 or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
I still think the division is Buffalo's to lose just because they've been there, done that. But here's the thing, Strick. The Jets are a huge winner, even though they lost Aaron Rodgers, because they bank a divisional game. You have it in the bank. It's a win, and you're leading the division because you have a divisional win. Miami looked solid offensively. Defense still got shredded.
Yeah.
But I think Miami comes out ahead in this as well, because they've seen someone else beat Buffalo now. They know it's possible. They got a win. Their offense looked good. And the Jets are without the guy they were building their team around. Miami's my dark horse to win the AFC East. Again, I still don't know if I would pick them, but I think Miami's
Sorensen just
division chances
loves you even more now.
Well, we're both Royals fans. We get along like that. He's still probably upset at me for not trading him Jonathan Taylor, as if I had anything to do with that. Not really my call, but I think the Dolphins are better off with Aaron Rodgers out for a lot of obvious reasons. You go down the list, I think the Chargers look better because that's a team they're going to fight with for a wild card. Maybe the Broncos, depending on how they look.
Tough for them.
The Titans, we'll get into more of these games in our next segment, but those are teams that I think benefit from Aaron Rodgers being out. So it's a bummer for the NFL. I mean, you have the super dope intro with Aaron Rodgers running onto the field, carrying the American flag, playing on 9/11, that introduction, that was cool. And that's basically his entire highlight tape as a New York Jet, was just getting introduced. So it's unfortunate for the game of football. It's a very Jets thing to have happen, just with how that organization has been run and what's happened with them. But I think, the fact they were able to bank a win and they saw that defense is a good thing for them. Yeah. That'll do it for segment 1. We'll have more on the block next.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any backyard landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Warning, this ad will use the F word often, so listen at your own risk. Family fun, fun with friends, freedom from fuel, free Yeti cooler, free driveway delivery. Hey, this is Carl from Nebraska Golf Carts and Priced Right Auto, and we have the all-electric Bentelli Fun Carts, and they are a blast. Plenty of fun colors, and these street legal carts come in both 4 and 6 passenger. Tell us you heard us on the ticket and get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase. Hurry, supply is limited. Check them out at 1235 West O in Lincoln or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire, 402-560-6197.
It's football season, and that means coaches everywhere are busy making game plans. I'm Matt Knipe with Liberty Law Group. Teams make game plans because no two opponents are the same. At Liberty Law, we understand that no two cases are the same. Whether facing a DUI, criminal charge, or you were injured and it wasn't your fault, we tailor our legal game plan to meet your unique needs. We are relentless trial attorneys serving all of Nebraska. To learn more, go to libertylawnebraska.com. That's libertylawnebraska.com.
Acres, your John Deere dealers, offering hot financing on all new compact tractors. For a limited time, get 0% interest for 84 months when you buy any new John Deere compact tractor. And with a variety of attachments, you'll make quick work of chores around your acreage. From mowing to grading and moving large loads, Acres has a John Deere tractor to handle your toughest projects. Don't delay. Visit your local Acres store to take advantage of this great offer. Acres, solutions for every field. Offer expires September 30th, 2023, subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Guys, you've heard me tell you all about Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. But it's not just me. Folks all over town are getting into shape with the FXB program. Guys like Brian, who joined at the same time I did a year and a half ago.
Yeah, Mark, I'm in better shape than I have been in quite some time. The people at Farrell's are awesome. The instructors keep the workouts fun, and the owners are engaged and committed to the success of all of their members.
The next Farrell's 10-week challenge begins on October 7th, and ticket listeners get $150 off enrollment. Just head to theticketfm.com. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
The high school football season rolls on right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman this Friday night from Gretna High School as we bring you a top 5 matchup in Class A. Number 2, Millard South Patriots travel to Gretna to face off against number 5, Gretna Dragons. Kickoff is slated for 7 p.m. with pregame scheduled to go on around 6:40 p.m. You can hear that and all the action unfold right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block. Austin Norman. He is Eric Strickland. Stricky, we were just talking about Aaron Rodgers' injury, what it means for the Jets and maybe some other teams in the AFC playoff picture. the other big debate that always comes with injuries like this, turf versus grass. Seems like the majority of athletes that were asked about it or that chose to comment on it said they'd much rather play on grass. You know, at the end of the day, does it make that big a difference?
I mean, the grass does have some form of a giveaway a little bit. It's a little softer, so as you plant and do different things, that little give into the soil, or depending on how hard it is or whatever, they try to do a good job of keeping it wet, so that it'll allow for a lot of this give. But I would always say that turf was better. I personally am blessed to have gotten out with no major injuries to my knees, because when I was in high school, we used to play on a tartan floor, which is, that rubber kind of a floor, and it was nasty. And so knowing that that's the case, I understand that surfaces do matter. Those give surfaces are way better on you than those surfaces that just don't have that.
Which is interesting to keep in mind too. Stanford, Nebraska tonight, like you mentioned, takes place on Stanford's basketball court. A little tougher surface than what Nebraska volleyball plays on, the TerraFlex, which is kind of the way. The rebuttal I would have to the people that say, grass is absolutely the way to go 100%. I totally get why the players, say grass, even if it is, more costly to maintain and it's harder to keep up. I get why teams would want to go that route. Ask Nebraska players about playing in the grass at Purdue. It seemed like every year Nebraska went there was a serious knee-ending injury. Maybe that was just a fluke. Maybe it was just coincidence. But that happens, right? Look at Northwestern, how bad their field gets by the end of the year. Soldier Field in Chicago. You can't tell me anyone enjoys playing on that surface after it gets, muddy and slushy. So, maybe they'd rather play ugly football than get hurt, which I totally understand. But I don't think just automatically going to grass is the answer, because it's not all on the surface. Sometimes crap just happens.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I think that is true. That would be an interesting debate to kind of just look at the numbers, just go over the years and see. I mean, because there's different types of turf. The turf that they have now, they do have a spongy, softer kind of feel to it. It's artificial, but it is kind of a softer, grassier feel. So I think the technology of it's gotten better. It's hard to say. It really is, Austin. It's just really hard to dictate unless you go and just really kind of do a breakdown and look at the numbers as a whole. It's tough to imagine, because some people do have a preference. Some actually like and prefer playing on turf than they do on, the grass. So it just depends on how you view it and how you look at it.
Let's look at the rest of the NFL schedule. Plenty else went on over a busy Sunday. Text line 402-464-5685. Let us know the most notable game to you. Which one stood out? Strick, let's just go back to Sunday night. Not that long ago. Dallas plays at the Giants, same field that the Jets and the Bills were playing on last night. Dallas robbed 40-0. Huge first half. They sacked Daniel Jones 7 times, a few turnovers, pitch a shutout. The Giants looked terrible. Dallas looked like world beaters. I didn't see that one coming.
I didn't either. But I actually watched that game, and I will have to say that they freaking looked amazing on defense. Like, their defense, I don't know. It was like they were possessed. They were hawking, running. I mean, the way that they handled themselves in the secondary, the way that they merged the sacks, wasn't just from Micah Parsons. It was from like all over the place. Other people were just getting the job done. I was impressed. I was quite surprised, and I think Dak did his thing. The running back crew, there was, all of them, Turpin, Pollard, and then there was one other that got in there. Deuce Vaughn. That's right. So you got to see them work a lot of different combinations, and it was actually pretty fun to see.
I knew the Cowboys had talent. I wasn't willing to believe them. And here's the thing. The Giants, as well as the Vikings, who lost to Tampa Bay, Trey Palmer catches the go-ahead touchdown, made it 17-10 for Tampa Bay. Both the Giants and the Vikings were due for some regression. I didn't realize all of it was going to hit the Giants week 1. Daniel Jones had no time to throw because of that Cowboys pass rush. The fumble by Saquon came at a really bad time.
Yeah.
Just
Was that
a
weather
train
related?
wreck.
You think it was just weather?
To some degree.
Yeah, to some degree, right? I mean, they both were playing under it. It just seemed like there was nothing that can go right for them, right? Even when they
Not a
made them
thing.
fumble, it was like Zach Martin, I think, was right there to get it. I mean, it was like they just couldn't get a break. That it just sometimes it's like that.
Mike McCarthy feeling good about calling plays again. You and I could have called. Well, you definitely could have. They might have even been able to get away with it with me calling the plays, given how that was going. Let's move to the afternoon slate on Sunday. Couple surprising games featuring Los Angeles teams to me. The Chargers had the Dolphins on the ropes. They Charger yet again, give up a late lead. Props to the Dolphins. We talked about them a little bit. But the Rams lay it on the Seahawks. Again, another one I didn't see coming. No Cooper Kupp. Matthew Stafford still, looked like a top 10 quarterback in this game. The Rams defense looked younger and quicker than I gave it credit for. Maybe Seattle was just off after a long offseason. Hard to use that as an excuse because everyone, had the same offseason. But I don't know if I was more shocked by how poor Seattle looked or just how good the Rams looked.
No, I mean, it looked like a resurgence, for them. They didn't have the guys that you would normally expect them to have, but then Puka Nakua and then Tattoo Atwell. What great names they've got right there. Like Puka ends up with 15 targets.
15.
So guys probably you didn't really think or rely on, some of their best guys. And like you said, Cooper Kupp not really being there. He was able to find other guys, and they got it done in the running game in the red zone, and they didn't have to rely on having to have those guys that probably aren't in those positions that to try to make plays in the red zone that normally guys like Cooper Kupp or somebody else would make. So that's tough. It's not an easy atmosphere to go up there. DK Metcalf, not very well on a show up. Smith and Jigba, not really. Tyler Lockett, who's been consistent for them, nothing there. Then you wonder, is it Geno Smith? I can't say that for sure. It's they tried to do what they do, try to establish the run, try to then use the run to create other things. It just the game plan wasn't working, and then when you get down, it doesn't work to your favor.
It is not. We talked on Friday about Detroit's win over Kansas City. Chiefs fans, watch out. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift have reportedly quietly been hanging out. So keep that on your radar. You might see Taylor Swift at a Chiefs game at some point. But the rest of the NFC North, we mentioned Minnesota losing to Tampa Bay. The other two teams played each other, Green Bay and the Bears. I expected a little bit more out of the Bears. I know they got the number one pick last year for a reason. They're still not a great team. I expected more from them, and I expected Jordan Love to look rough. I was actually impressed with how he managed the game, made a couple nice throws when he had to, and that Packers defense did its thing again.
Confidence.
Right.
You're at a point, you're not as young anymore, you're not as immature anymore. You got a chance to learn from one of the best to do it, 4-time MVP. He moves on. It's your show now. You go through and have a pretty good, solid camp and exhibition season, and now you're the guy. The light shines on you, and it's like now you're prepared for the spotlight. It's kind of like an actor who shows up in first time without acting lessons in school and just thinks that he can get it done like me. And then you realize that 10 takes later, 12 takes later, I need some work, and I've got to really put in the time, the effort, the work. I got to be a listener and not just because the ego sometimes can keep you from becoming everything that you need to be the best part of you for the team. And I think those lessons that were learned, it looks like he's applying it. He had a solid game, 15 for 27, solid. And just all around great game for the Green Bay Packers to get the season started. Justin Fields, it is what it is for a young quarterback coming in his first big game. So, just hopefully they'll keep learning and growing. Same thing for Bryce Young.
I was just going to say, let's talk about the rookie quarterbacks. None of them win. The Falcons beat the Panthers, final score 24-10. Houston loses to Baltimore 25-9. Mike Colts put up probably the best fight, 31-21. They lose to Jacksonville. What did you see out of those young quarterbacks? Did you like what you saw? Were you concerned about anything from them? Where are you at with Young, Stroud, and Richardson?
It's what's expected, I think.
Sure.
It's not like they've gone to a perennial dominant team. And this is where I make the comparison. You would like to say it could have been different if he would have maybe been with Cincinnati and you have like a T. Higgins and you have a Jamar Chase. But I think for what their experience is for their first game, it's all right. You know what I mean? I think they'll, I think they'll continue to work. I think they'll get better. I'm not disappointed in them because it's still way too much. It's way too early. So you can't really judge them upon what you first see. I just think that in due time will tell. I think by the time we get to week 5, week 6, I think we'll have a better understanding.
I thought, I'm not trying to be a homer here, I thought Richardson looked the best. I think the game plan was made simple enough for him. I mean, he basically only threw to the right side of the field. Nate Tice, who does a lot of football analysis, put that out. I think 4 or 5 throws outside the left hash is all Anthony Richardson had to make. One of them, his first touchdown, was a screen that Michael Pittman, did the work on. The interception he threw to end the game, I didn't like. That's, I think, a bit of a force of a throw. Maybe put some more touch on it, gets there, but I still don't think so. But he was able to run the ball with some effectiveness, scored a rushing touchdown. Stroud was fine. I just don't think there's a lot around him in the receiving corps down in Houston.
Yeah.
It's a lot on his shoulders.
It's going to be a lot of growing pains there.
Right. And the 2 interceptions from Bryce Young, again, that's a guy that I think was pressing, just trying to do a little bit too much, kind of like he had to at Alabama last year, where he didn't have the receiving help that, Mac Jones had or that Tua Tagovailoa had. I think we saw a little bit of that pressing from Bryce Young, but like you said, nothing for me to worry about.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Joe Burrow. Woof. 14 of 31 for 82 yards.
Whoa.
Not like Deshaun Watson was much better in the rain that was going on out in Cleveland, but yikes, Joe Burrow. This is a trend. He starts last year off with 4 interceptions. He starts this year off with like 2.5 yards per completion. Yeah.
It didn't look good at all. He didn't look in sync at all. Then you have to ask the question, is there some form of complacency setting in? This is a in-state rivalry game.
Jamar Chase called them elves.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, totally, T. Higgins is a no-show. 8 targets, a donut. That is not good. And if that continues,
we call that a Kadarius
Toney.
Oh
my gosh. If that continues with this team, it's going to be a lot of trouble. They're not going to be any good. And I think you're going to start hearing a lot of buzzwords going on. Then decisions are going to be made as to, still what's next. You still got to say Jamar is the guy. I mean, but still, I think that freaking Cleveland Browns defense showed up, bro.
Miles Garrett was toying with
Oh
that
my
O-line.
gosh, man. It was just a total decimation. And I mean, they were hitting and they were letting it be known that, we're going to be here for a while. So don't get it twisted. We're going to be here.
Absolutely. Some other kind of eyebrow raising results. Washington struggled with Arizona. I was kind of surprised the Commanders were able to put that game away as poorly as they were playing. Philadelphia struggles at New England, but then you have to remind yourself, they lost both coordinators. Is Philly still the favorite? Did Dallas do enough to supplant them in the NFC? Where are you at with that NFC East?
I still think it's too early, but you're right. There's an adjustment period. I don't think none of us believe that the Patriots probably were going to be dominant, but they hang in there. And,
Sure
and
did.
anytime you hang in there, especially at home, you give yourselves a chance. I think it just shows that they had resilience to go ahead and finish off the game, regardless of how close it was. I think in due time, they'll probably just continue to feel each other out and get to a point where hopefully they'll be able to improve a little bit more of that strength. Defense is still pretty good, though. So, that's something to rely on. They've got some great weapons. A.J. Brown still had a solid game, 7 for 79. I mean, it's all a good start. I think it'll continue to get better.
Speaking of a good start, I know we have some fans of this team on the text line. So before I get yelled at, let me sneak this in here. The Niners go to Pittsburgh and dominate 30-7. Brock Purdy, again, looked the part. Not super special, but 2 touchdowns to Brandon Ayuk. $150 on the ground from Christian McCaffrey. San Francisco, we knew was going to be talented. The Steelers' offense, though, with Matt Canada, has been garbage, has been doo-doo. And I get it, you're going up against the Niners, but to only score 7 points for Najee Harris to do nothing all game, yikes,
Yeah.
Steelers.
Yeah, it's not very good. And they were bad last year, too. But it's in that rebuild phase, right? Kenny Pickett is... they still got to make a decision as to figuring out whether or not he's going to be the guy, because this next group that's going to be coming out, this next quarterback group, there's a lot of guys that are going to have to make some serious decisions about what direction they're going to go as far as with their teams. So we'll just take a look and just hopefully figure out whether or not it's going to work to their benefit as far as what they're going to bring in, what areas do they need to improve at, or do we need to go in a different direction? And that's this going to be a tough season for the Steelers this year.
He's Eric Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. We're playing the shootout with Strick right now. Call now, 402-464-5685. $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings is the prize for you if you can beat Strick in trivia. I'll give you a hint. It's NFL themed. That's all you get. That's your trivia. $30 Buffalo Wings and Rings if you beat Strick by calling 402-464-5685. We'll play the shootout next.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine, calm winds also in the forecast for today. Afternoon high should be around 78. Tonight we'll see mostly clear skies with an overnight low of around 51. And tomorrow more of the same, mostly sunny skies with an afternoon high of around 80. Meteorologist out from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. They're a standard you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
It's football season, and that means coaches everywhere are busy making game plans. I'm Matt Knipe with Liberty Law Group. Teams make game plans because no two opponents are the same. At Liberty Law, we understand that no two cases are the same. Whether facing a DUI, criminal charge, or you were injured and it wasn't your fault, we tailor our legal game plan to meet your unique needs. We are relentless trial attorneys serving all of Nebraska. To learn more, go to libertylawnebraska.com. That's libertylawnebraska.com.
Guys, you've heard me tell you all about Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. But it's not just me. Folks all over town are getting into shape with the FXB program. Guys like Ryan, who joined at the same time I did a year and a half ago.
Yeah, Mark, I'm in better shape than I have been in quite some time. The people at Farrell's are awesome. The instructors keep the workouts fun, and the owners are engaged and committed to the success of all of their members.
The next Farrell's 10-week challenge begins on October 7th, and ticket listeners get $150 off enrollment. Just head to theticketfm.com. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
The high school football season rolls on right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman this Friday night from Gretna High School as we bring you a top 5 matchup in Class A. Number 2, Millard South Patriots travel to Gretna to face off against number 5, Gretna Dragons. Kickoff is slated for 7 p.m. with pregame scheduled to go on around 6:40 p.m. You can hear that and all the action unfold right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Tailored Lights is your go-to local manufacturer and installer of the best landscape lighting. Tailored Lights is excited to highlight the architecture of your home or business and provide a warm environment that feels safe. And for those outside the Lincoln area, they do ship across the country and are happy to work with anyone near or far with lights anywhere from 18 inches to 110 inches. Enhance your curb appeal with an exquisite tailored light today. Call 402-432-2572 or go to tailoredlights.com.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick, brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game.
Let's do it. We have a caller on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. We go there now, and we welcome in Tom. Tom, what's up? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Glad to hear it. I think I'm good. How are you, Stricky?
I'm hanging in there, man. It's a new week. Let's go, Tom. Let's see who can pull it out. All right,
Tom. Hold on the line for me. We'll give Strick his questions first, and then we will get to you. All right, Strick. I told you it was NFL. We'll do some NFL quarterback stats from Week 1. That's what we're diving into here. Your round starts in 3, 2, and 1. He completed the most passes in Week 1. Mac Jones or Tua Tagovailoa?
Tua Tagovailoa.
It was Mac. He was sacked the most times in Week 1. Daniel Jones or Sam Howell?
Jones.
Yep. He led the league in completion percentage in Week 1. Russell Wilson or Des Ridder?
Des Ridder.
Yep. And he had the lowest completion percentage of any starter with more than 10 attempts.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Riddler.
1.
You just said Ridder had the highest.
No.
No, too late. You don't get second guess.
No, from Atlanta.
Yeah, you already guessed him. You guessed him the answer before. And he was the highest. Dang it. The lowest was Joe Burrow. His 14 of 31, the worst completion percentage.
I should have known that.
All right, Strick, you got 2. You got Howell. You got Ridder. Tom, 2 to tie, 3 to win. Are you ready for your round of the shootout?
I am ready. Let's go.
All right, starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He had the highest quarterback rating in Week 1. Matthew Stafford or Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy.
Yep, he had the most pass attempts of any rookie quarterback in Week 1. C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young?
C.J. Stroud.
Yep, he had the longest completion in Week 1. Jordan Love or Dak Prescott?
Jordan Love.
Yep, and he was the only quarterback to throw for 400 or more yards in Week 1.
Oh, that's late. 2 weeks. 446.
Tua, the answer. Yes, it was.
Boom shakalaka. Finish him. Flawless victory.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell no.
I said, give me a hell yeah.
Dang, he Kobe'd me. I mean, he went for 80.
Woo! Flawless. Congratulations.
I'll take the victory, so thank you.
All right, man. Tom, congratulations. Way to go, man. Golly, Tom was on top of it today.
He really was. See, I thought they were fair questions.
Yeah, they were.
Let's go to Rico for the tiebreaker here. Rico guesses the number. Strick goes over and under. How many yards did Tua throw for in week 1?
436.
Stricky?
Wait.
No, you said it. No going back. You said your answer.
I think it's over.
It is over. 466. Go get him, Stricky. You got the win that counted, right, Strick?
Yes. Put it on there. You know what it is.
Rico very begrudgingly walks over to the scoreboard. He didn't want to.
What is it, Rico? Oh, look at the hesitation.
No, it's mixed up. So now you're 3-2 overall, and you're 2-1 against me. Somebody mixed it up, so the overall and the current week are.
Yeah,
that's a winning record, Stricky.
Come on,
doing it.
I gotta hold on. I need a string. I need a string of victories. I need to go run off like 5 straight.
5 straight won't help the Royals. They're taking over the radio airwaves. So we're going to head to the stream after this break. Follow us there, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Or again, if you're in your car, you're in your office, download the app on your phone, right? Super easy. Search 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. Download the app. That's where we'll be for the next hour of On the Block. We'll see you over there.
Warning, this ad will use the F word often, so listen at your own risk. Family fun, fun with friends, freedom from fuel, free Yeti cooler, free driveway delivery. Hey, this is Carl from Nebraska Golf Carts and Priced Right Auto, and we have the all-electric Bentelli Fun Carts, and they are a blast. Plenty of fun colors, and these street legal carts come in both 4 and 6 passenger. Tell us you heard us on the ticket and get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase. Hurry, supply is limited. Check them out at 1235 West O in Lincoln or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
The high school football season rolls on right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman this Friday night from Gretna High School as we bring you a top 5 matchup in Class A. Number 2, Millard South Patriots travel to Gretna to face off against number 5, Gretna Dragons. Kickoff is slated for 7 p.m. with pregame scheduled to go on around 6:40 p.m. You can hear that and all the action unfold right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Lane's Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Terex and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the clock is running down. Offer valid 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for fireworks Fridays, souvenir Saturdays, Sunday family fun days, and more. With 50 home games, even days can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
Action Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, If I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Ready to upgrade your combine with new technology to make your harvest more efficient, meaning more money in your pocket? The team at Landmark Implement is here to help find the right combine for harvest. Plus, when you purchase a pre-owned combine from Landmark, you are backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network, along with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running, reducing downtime. View inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Nutrition Authority invites you to save 35 to 75% off at our back-to-school blowout. We're taking our better-than-internet prices and cutting them even deeper, bringing you the biggest sale of the season. Monday, August 14th through 19th, the back-to-school blowout is on at Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606. or visit high-electric.com to get started.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. He's going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Well. Once we're back, it's Taco Tuesday. We have come to a conclusion that we're able to say it and talk about it. Taco John's has released their stranglehold, that is, on the word Taco Tuesday, so it is a free for all to be able to use. It is a Taco Tuesday here on the block. 93.7 The Ticket at ticketfm.com. Austin and E Strick here for you 2 to 4 every day. We are now on the stream. Thank you on the stream. Those who are tapped in by way of Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, X, or YouTube. We appreciate you guys for joining us here on the block as well. We're going to get into some Husker football right now. I think, Austin, we have exhausted as much of the conversation that we can about what week 1 and week 2 was. It was like a bad movie. It was like I said on the stream before, going to watch Blair Witch Project and seeing just that debacle of a movie and how much they got us. I feel tricked. I feel like I went in and I paid my admission fee and I didn't get what I was coming to see. But in the meantime, in between time, they're now able to come home. It has been a tough road stretch for them. They find their way back in Memorial Stadium this weekend against a Northern Illinois team that can be dangerous if you don't come to play and you find yourself doing a lot of the things that you've done in the first 2 weeks. So with that in mind, Austin, let's talk about it a little bit. What's some of the things that, as you looked at these first 2 weeks, that one are correctable, are fixable for the Husker football team, and how they can use these next 2 weeks in order to make sure that they prepare themselves not to get embarrassed at home against Michigan?
I'm going to focus on the next 2 weeks part, right? Because I think this is a chance where you can't let your guard down but you can kind of catch your breath a little bit to some degree. The next two opponents both went 3-9 last year. They weren't very good. We'll learn more about Louisiana Tech, in a couple weeks. They snuck by FIU, rather, in a game that they only allowed 4 passing yards. It was still 22-17. They're beatable. Northern Illinois went on the road to Boston College, another not very good Power 5 team, and got a win before coming back home and losing to Southern Illinois, who doesn't even play FBS football. That's an FCS team. So both of these teams will present their challenges, but are also, like you talked about yesterday, opportunities for Nebraska to really, kick that door down, right? Not just kind of sidle through. So these next 2 weeks are those opportunities to build confidence. I think this is the weeks you'd like to see, just how complex can we get? What can our guys handle that we can get away with? That would be the wrong approach. Simplify, simplify, simplify. This is an opponent you should be, generally speaking, more athletic than. You should be bigger, faster, stronger than. Go back to the fundamentals. Go back to the basic just tenets of offense and defense. Figure out who you are. I think we know what the defense is. It's multiple. It's solid. I'm less worried about that group. But for the offense, what can that group hang its hat on? What are its, 5-6 plays whenever it needs, to stay on schedule or to get back on schedule, that they know they can call these 5 or 6 plays. Guys are going to be in the right spot at the right time doing their job. To me, Strick, these next 2 weeks are the perfect opportunity to figure that out. Because then you get Michigan. That's a big one. You have a short week going to Illinois, who we know has had its challenges, but is still better than Nebraska right now. And then you're halfway through the season. That's it. You have these next 4 weeks, and that's halfway through the season. It's going to fly by as much as it feels like a drag sometimes. Then Northwestern, Purdue, critical stretch right there leading into Michigan State, Maryland, Wisconsin, Iowa to end the year. There's not really another chance you can say, okay, yeah, we can turn around and reevaluate. It has to happen now. That sense of urgency has to be taking place this week. And really, I think Jay would tell you in these next couple of days across Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday, Friday with the walkthrough, Saturday and the game day. So for me, the sense of urgency, if it wasn't high to begin the year, it has to be at its highest right now.
Yeah. When I look at this team, I mean, there was a lot of things that that were unknown to us, right? We didn't know how Jeff Sims was going to fare. We didn't know which running back was going to emerge. We didn't know why. We knew there was a lot of them. We just didn't know who was going to come forth. We had hopes that maybe a Billy Kemp or somebody like that would emerge and become like Trey Palmer. We didn't know what the defense was going to look like. There was a lot of unknowns coming into this thing. And now we find ourselves 0-2 coming back home with a stretch to be able to figure it out. I think it's a thing that goes back to identity. Who are you? Who are you and who are you going to be? Who do you want to be? I thought you started to see a little bit of it out of the Colorado game. I still go back to the fact that I believe that the mishaps, the mistakes, and the turnovers took away the game plan that was actually working, right? Because then you had to change it. You had to make adjustments. You had to try. Then you're on a short clock now in certain situations. So you had to do things that you didn't necessarily have to do if you were able to just maintain the exchanging of field position. So I think this is an identifying week for the offense. Who are you? Tell me, show me, become who you're going to be for the rest of the year. I still think there's a chance that this team can turn it around and make it for good. So we'll see how that turns out.
Tell me is one thing, show me is another.
There you go.
These are show me weeks. Absolutely. Let's start with the offense. I like that you went there to the YouTube stream. Again, any thoughts? What's fixable? What's not fixable for Husker football these next couple weeks? Let us know if you're watching on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. We'll see your comments there, or text us 402-464-5685 on the Starter Heyman text line. Rob, watching on YouTube, appreciate you tuning in there. Rob asks, does it make more sense for Sims to figure it out against Northern Illinois or to see what we have with Harburg and Purdy? We touched on this a little bit on Monday, Strick. We didn't get much of an update, if any, on Jeff Sims' availability, the health of that ankle. So that's the number one determining factor. if the ankle is bad enough, I think this is a week you can probably afford to sit him. But I also think that if he's healthy and you sit him, under the guise of we're being careful with his ankle, I don't think that's the way to go. Because from what we've heard from the coaches, Jeff Sims doesn't pull this crap in practice. He handles the ball well. He doesn't just fumble snaps or miss handoffs or throw, bad interceptions, right? We don't get those reports. Now, the coaches would never tell us that bluntly, but we'd be able to read between their lines to some degree. I think they're being honest when they say they don't see this Jeff Sims in practices, which is what makes it so exasperating when it gets into games. I know these next two games aren't at the same intensity level, at the same stakes level as opening with a conference game and then going to 20, 30, 40, 50-year rival in week 2 with all the hype around it. But the sense of urgency has to be there. And every week that Jeff Sims prepares as a starter, I think is the feather in his cap, gets him closer. And if his issues aren't in practice, then he has to iron them out in games. And that's why you have games like Northern Illinois in Louisiana Tech coming up. So to me, you hope that Jeff Sims doesn't, have to worry about his ankle, that he's good to go, that he plays well. You can play him 2.5 quarters and you can have the best of both worlds. You can see if Jeff Sims figures some things out, and you can cut Harburg and Purdy loose in the second half if you're up big enough, like the last time these two teams played.
Yeah. I mean, when you also take a look at different teams right now, right? Who are they out there? Where are they out there? But my question is it possible for Nebraska during this time frame with the ankle? There's kind of some outs on that. To look at Nebraska, because there's some teams out there that have this system. Is it successful? Can it be? I think Michigan showed that it's possible. But do you look at possibly how would a 2 quarterback system work at Nebraska? Do you think it's feasible or not? The reason I say this is I think you look at Jeff Sims as, and he's not him. Let's just be honest. He's not Travis Hunter. He's not him. But I think you have an athlete who has the abilities to do multiple things. Do you look at just figuring out ways to get him touches the ball outside of the decision-making process? And maybe one of the other guys may just be better at, decisions in some instances. There are some trick plays that you can throw if you have a quarterback in there who has those. And I'm not saying go gimmicky. I'm just saying, is this a time to maybe assess whether or not a 2 quarterback system works for you? Because these first 2 games it just didn't look good. And so when is the mark? That's where I'm going to continue to go back to. What is the mark to where you say we need to make an adjustment? Personally, I think it needs to be within these next 2 games. If it's not next game, if you see another bad showing, multiple turnover situations, I think you need to start looking at at least by the next game before you get to Michigan. Otherwise, I think you're going to be in trouble.
If you're going to decide if you want to do a 2 quarterback system, I think you're absolutely right. This is the week. These are the weeks to try it. My only issue when it comes to Nebraska specifically with it is if you're going to play 2, if you're going to play Jeff Sims and one of the others, what happens to the third? Because it sounds like Chubba Purdy had started to separate himself, but he's been banged up. So do you do Jeff Sims and Heinrich Harburg, who are more similar than Jeff Sims and Chubba Purdy? Are you playing quarterbacks 1 and 3? I mean, Chubba played last week, maybe wasn't 100%, but it sounds like he was well on his way to securing that quarterback 2 job. If he's not healthy, is it worth it? I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, that's on the coaching staff to know and figure out. The other thing I think is important when you make a move like that, Strick, because that's a big deal, right? That's a big deal to have one of your guys wearing a single digit, now have to split time as the starting quarterback. Matt Rule, Marcus Satterfield, whatever coaches Jeff Sims and these other quarterbacks trust and relate to the most, have to have a 100%, no doubt about it, this is what the locker room is feeling sense. There could be a moment, right, that the time is right, to pull the plug on the Jeff Sims experiment, go to a 2 quarterback system, completely switch jobs. There might be that moment. But if you pull that plug at the wrong moment and stuff goes off the rails like it did in 2019, like it did in 2021, you're no further along than you were to begin with. So it's a delicate situation.
It is. And it's one that really you don't have an answer for. I mean, like you're saying, it's similar to like a scientist or like your boy Doc Brown and Back to the Future going in and trying to figure out time travel, right? It's like there's different things that you're trying to figure out, test. Sometimes the beakers, they blow up, and sometimes they settle down, and sometimes it doesn't work. You're in year one of a team that now doesn't seem to have an identity or direction. Not saying you go gimmicky, but also saying you're trying to figure out and find out in this experiment what combinations, what situations best for you or suited for you, who is who and who is what, and who can do and who can go where. It's just a bunch of placing, strategic pieces on a chessboard, trying to figure out how to trap the enemy and win the game. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I'm just kind of, I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. And it definitely is a scientific experiment right now in year one for the Huskers and Matt Rule.
Texter 1231 says, let's be realistic. Jeff Sims is a perfect I formation quarterback. Your thoughts first, Strick.
I personally think I don't think he's a shotgun drop back in the pocket. I think he's a move him around type of guy. I think he's a guy that you slide out of the pocket, roll a little bit. You've got two routes on that side, maybe a delay from the tight end to give you three at three different levels, maybe someone on a deep comeback to an out at 10 yards. So you got a 20-yard deep out, the slot guy maybe on a curl or an out, and then a delay into the flat where you're running, rolling and running, and then if nothing's there, run the ball. You know what I mean? Like moving him around, just straight in the pocket, straight, play action. That doesn't seem to be him, because that puts you in the middle of the field. 1, 2, 3. I don't see him getting to a third. You know what I mean? It just his head seems to stay pretty locked on one side of the field, or not unless he's got somebody working on the backside, like on everything flowing this way. You've got a tight end coming out working backside where your eyes stay here. Backside tight end, depending on what the coverage is may be open. So I don't know, man. I'm still think he needs to be moving or some sort. Now, you guys help me 402-464-5678 or on the stream to help me. Do you think he throws well off the run? There's another, open question. You know what I mean? It seems to me as he's moving, sometimes his footwork is not good enough. He doesn't get enough zip on the ball. That leads him to throw ball short inside where it should be outside. So his accuracy then comes into play there too. So it's, I'm my mind is blowing up trying to figure that out too.
The interceptions against Minnesota came in a busy, a dirty pocket. The interception he tried to throw to Thomas Fidone was on the run. And if the first guy didn't intercept it, the second guy was going to. I think it's less about pocket versus on the move, more so than can you limit the number of decisions to some degree, right? I mean, 1, 2, go. 1, 2, maybe 3 go, like you're saying. To what 1231 is saying too, Nebraska hasn't been that good out of the I formation so far this year. They tried it against Minnesota. They did it a couple times against Colorado where I thought it would have been more effective. But Strick, I don't think these guys have played that much I formation football in their past, right? You look at your fullbacks, Barrett Liebentritt getting on the field, the Notre Dame transfer. Janarin Bonner hasn't done a whole lot. That's a guy I've expected more from these first couple weeks. I don't think Nebraska is comfortable out of the I formation. I think they're miscommunications. I think it's just so foreign to them. To me, when Nebraska has looked the best has been, Jeff Sims under center with 2 tight ends and a running back. You still have 2 guys split out wide. You have your 2 tight ends. Maybe there's one on each side. Maybe you're heavy one way. But where he can go play action off of that, or you can run some misdirection, kind of pin pull some different guys. That's where Nebraska's looked the best, more so than your traditional I formation.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's what looked good. Definitely counter action, getting those guards and tackles pulling a little bit, whamming, blocking with the tight end on some movement. Definitely you saw a lot of motion with some wham blocking and stuff like that. That seemed to be working. Allowed those guys to get up and find areas in off tackle, just off the end. In mini stretch, not typical stretch, but just kind of a mini stretch with a possible cutback. You saw those opened up pretty well, but they just had to go away from it. Obviously, once the turnover bug hit, and they weren't able to stay true to form to what was working. And by the time you try to get back to it, that clock is not your friend; it's your enemy now. So, hopefully, that won't be a case when these games come off this next week.
Claytonia John, I don't know if I could do better. I appreciate the compliment, though. I'd be willing to give it a shot. I'd have to go back for a graduate degree of some sort. I didn't play it down, though, so I still got all my eligibility as far as I know. On the YouTube stream, Vince Watson said, Sims is a great athlete. I just think when it comes to game time, it's too much for him mentally. That's what it looks like. I mean, you can tell he's athletic, but it feels very 7-on-7, or, hey, you were the best player at our high school. We didn't have anyone else. You got to put it all on your shoulders. Nebraska needs a quarterback, not just someone taking snaps.
That's a fact. What else could I say? I mean, you're absolutely right. We need let's be real about it. Just go down the list. Teams with good, effective, or elite quarterbacks are the most successful in the college football game.
Mm-hmm. In the NFL game.
And it translates. And so it's okay to have a athlete, but at the same time, the game is so complex. Schemes are so good. Regular running type of quarterbacks can be stopped. So they're not going to let you beat them. They're not going to let you beat them by way of an athletic way. If you're a good team, they're going to make you do what you don't want to do. Right. Unless you impose your will. But I don't think we're that type of a team that we can impose will yet. And even if we get there, I don't know, we'll see.
That's the question. Can you become that team that imposes your will in the next 2 weeks? I don't know if you can. I think you can take steps in that direction. I think the offensive line's a good spot to go with that point as well, Strick. The offensive line, I think we saw sometimes against Minnesota and especially against Colorado, has an athleticism disadvantage, right? Sometimes Colorado was firing off the ball quicker than Nebraska could react. Colorado's guys swimming, juking linemen right off the snap. But that was just a handful of snaps. More often than not, it seemed like communication issues, right? Guys just not knowing what their assignment was. You would hope communication would be able to get cleaned up in these next 2 games. You would hope you could watch enough film and learn enough terminology or assignment in 2 weeks that you can stop making the stupid mistakes. But how long have we seen Nebraska's offensive line not be able to just do the simple things well repeatedly, which makes me wonder if it actually is fixable in 2 weeks.
I saw a lot of Sixth Sense action out there. If you know, you know. Those listening, if you know Sixth Sense, the guy has his blanket pulled up to his chin. The young man says, I see dead people. And there's ghosts everywhere. They were blocking, in some instances, they were blocking ghostly figures. I don't know what they saw, but whoever the guy was, whoever the guy was in front of them, they ran past him as if he wasn't there, and there was some other ghostly figure that was on the inside, and you're going and you're blocking air, and I'm like, this guy's the one making the tackle. You didn't even chip him. You didn't touch him, and he literally comes in and makes a play. There was a lot of that going on. As you say, probably about those 4 or 5 plays in which I definitely know I saw.
Absolutely. The offensive line hasn't been as abysmally atrocious as the reputation it got last year. It needs to take a step up. Things that I don't think need to be fixed on the offense are running backs and tight ends. They're fine. They're there. You'd like more out of them, but there's only so much they can do. One thing on the offense that I don't think is fixable in the next 2 weeks or the rest of the year, Strick, is the wide receiver room. even if you add a Jalen Lloyd, a Malachi Coleman, a Jaden Doss to that mix, those guys are better athletes than the guys starting in front of them. I just think this is a limited wide receiver group. You're not going to magically get more athletic over the next 2 weeks. You're not going to magically get, quicker footwork, get better releases off the line in the next 2 weeks. Pretty much every position group on the offense, has something to get better at. I'm just not sure what that path to improvement is for the wide receivers.
You're on point. And Hinge, the doubt as to how much better we can get, I think it's there for the taking. It's going to be a matter of who and what room wants to take the initiative and the charge, right? If you see that there's something lacking, something missing, which room is going to step up? Who is it going to be? It don't even have to be a whole room. Just who in the room,
right?
Is it going to be, right? That's what I'm hoping to see, man. Because it's right now, I still have no clue.
I don't have any clue. You don't have any clue. Don't know if Jeff Sims has any clue. Who knows if Garrett McGuire has a clue at this point?
I'm telling you, Austin, I look back and again, this is where it comes. This whole thing's comes full circle, and it really just smacks me right in my face like a pie that, the clown's throw in your face, right? Is when we're in a 2-minute drill and Jeff Sims is running and we got a couple things going. We're moving a little bit. And I don't know, I can't remember if we had a timeout or we didn't, but it was about 11 seconds left and he's calling a play and he's kind of walking kind of half slow. He's looking around, trying to see where the lineman is, and the clock is still ticking and had no clue that the clock was about to run out. Like, not even a quick snap, let's go get this one play.
Lackadaisical.
It was so and that's what I think the issues are.
Well, on the flip side of that, running out of bounds with 58 seconds to go and not making Colorado use its last timeout. Little things like that go so far.
So much awareness and lack of it.
Let's, since we're on stream, let's finish this conversation out before we go to break, because our next segment is going to be off of football. On the defense, Strick, is there anything that you think needs to be, drastically fixed? Is there anything that you don't think will get better in the next 2 weeks? Where are you at with improvement from the defense?
I still think they're putting some pieces back in there. Obviously, Heinrich's coming back. You saw some great things out of like Lynn Hart on the edge. They're going to continue to expand on that, expound on that. You hadn't really heard much out of Ty Robinson, right?
He was suspended for the first half of Colorado. Yeah. He comes back and he was fine. The second half.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It like, where are we going to see guys taking that next step? I mean, you would have hoped Sherman, you would have hoped Borders or somebody like that. Names that you thought probably could have been that. Again, I like what I see out of Omar Brown. I like his abilities and some of the things. I think Hartzog is kind of on a roller coaster ride. Like, he's down there at Worlds of Fun.
He is tall enough to ride, though.
Yeah. I think the most consistent person has been, Q. As far as in the secondary, I think he's just been the most consistent. So hopefully they'll get consistency all the way across the board, just on the defensive side of things, and that'll continue to make them get better and grow stronger.
To me, it's all about turnovers these next 2 weeks. I think Nebraska has to force at least 4 turnovers over these next 2 games combined for me to think they have a shot to do it against Power 5 opponents, right? I talked about that a little bit on Monday. That's the next step for this team's defense, to go from solid or good to, hey, they can maybe steal Nebraska a game or two, is creating turnovers. Rocky Lombardi at quarterback for Northern Illinois. We've seen him before. He was the quarterback in the 9-6 snow game. Michigan State came here in. I don't think he's all that great, right? I get it. He went to Michigan State, but I'm not overly impressed with Rocky Lombardi, his ability to throw the ball. He'll run some. You got to be aware of that. Nebraska hasn't really faced that, how I think Northern Illinois will use him. And Hank Bachmeier, traveling from Boise State down to Louisiana Tech. He's solid. He's fine. I thought he was okay at Boise, but again, a little bit of a propensity to give the ball away. So if you get a couple turnovers each game, it'll tell me the ability to do that against Power 5 teams is probably in there somewhere. You just got to tease it out. To me, Strick, though, the biggest improvement that I think would help this team on the defense and special team side of the ball is Brian Buschini punting. Had a good game against Minnesota and then just
fell
whipped,
off.
lost it.
At least 3
against
of them.
Colorado.
Yeah, there was at least 2 real bad shankers. Yeah, they got to figure that out because you helped yourself, and you're going to need to be a field position changing type of unit in the punt game. Like if you can't move the ball and you get in tough waters and you're on your side of the field, you need to be able to turn it. And you can't shank balls and leave the ball at the 40 giving short fields. You just can't do it.
If that's going to be the type of team you have to be, kind of Iowa style, you need more from your punter, which sounds ridiculous to say. You shouldn't want more out of your punter. It's great that Brian Buschini's landed a few punts inside the 20. Let's start landing those inside the 10, and then get a lucky roll inside the 5. Right now, he's averaging just a hair over 40 yards per kick. He said he wanted to be up in that 43 range. He's got some work to do. Are you worried at all about Tristan Alvano? He's 1 for 2 on the season.
No. I think he's shown he's got a good leg. I think the miss that he missed wasn't a bad miss. It just didn't turn over and keep going. I think he'll keep getting better because he's definitely got the leg. He's got a great leg. So, that's the one thing you can't change. He doesn't look like he's got a snap hook guy. He's very confident in getting through the ball. Just, making the slight adjustments, as far as his footwork to make sure he's more accurate.
And Nebraska's, taken 3 or 4 opportunities away from him with bad turnovers. So I'm with you. I'm not worried. Yeah. Let's talk some hoops next segment. I feel like it's been a while since we've talked some basketball. That's where we're going to turn the conversation.
Yeah, it's not good there either.
It's not necessarily, but we can fix it. We got thoughts. We got solutions. We'll talk some hoops here on the block next.
Our Remington Homes has really expanded and taken off in the last 5 years.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders talking about their exciting new division, Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
The exciting thing about a Remington home, you get to choose your floor plan from predetermined floor plans. You can select your options. We give you a lot of choices. By selecting certain floor plans, they're just easier to build. And you couple that with our great lot selection in all different areas. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, Spirits and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
If you have concerns about your drinking water, just call Bryant. If your water doesn't look right, smell right, or taste right, Bryant can help. If your water has high levels of iron, Bryant can help. If you're tired of foggy dishes and dingy clothes, Bryant can help. Whatever your home water needs are, Bryant is here with a solution to fit your needs. Be sure about your water. Just call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Keep summer green with Judson Bylene and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install them and forget them outfit long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the Block. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you. If you have any Husker thoughts, what can improve in the next 2 weeks, what can't, let us know. 402-464-5685, or let us know on whichever stream you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. While we wait for those, Strick, let's talk some hoops. Team USA, we called it. We called our shot. Watch out for the lack of motivation against Canada. That's right. Team USA loses to Germany, who goes on to win the FIBA World Cup. Gets really smacked around by Canada. Dylan Brooks, not known for his scoring prowess, puts up almost 40 points. Team USA finishes 4th in the FIBA World Cup. But then, Strick, not long after that tournament ends, we hear from LeBron James, who says he wants to make a run at the 2024 Olympics. He hasn't played for Team USA since 2012. And LeBron's recruiting. It has a whole list of guys he's already reached out to, apparently. But let's start with the LeBron element. Would LeBron be a good guy to have on Team USA's roster in the Paris Olympic Games?
I just think for his presence, I think for his leadership, to what he would be able to give, I think you definitely would still want to turn it over to some young guys. Some of the guys that he's recruiting, obviously, is some elder statesmen, and then adding in a sprinkle of some young bucks as well. One of the things that I think holds true is what Steve Kerr said. And Steve Kerr said, this is not 1992 anymore. The players in the world have gotten better. and the teams are better, and it is not as easy to win the World Cup or the Olympic Games anymore. There's been talk as if Yugoslavia would not have been split up, then USA dominance probably wouldn't have been as dominant as they were over some periods of years. But I still believe that. I think that this is a global game. The game has become more global. Teams are working on their skills and their sets, and teams like China and places like that are getting better. Obviously in the Caribbean states, some of them, some South American states have been pretty challenging over the years. Obviously with Argentina and some years that they made some runs, but it's not easy out there. And so if you're going with second tier, third tier guys against the world's best, and the crazy thing about that, some of the world's best are role players in some instances on some of the teams here, but when they get back there, they're the man. And that just goes to show you that what that shows you is what I've told people before that they didn't believe me. I said, most people that play in the NBA can be stars, all stars. It depends on what level the team allows you to go, what coach believes in you and allows you to do what you do, and just opens the floodgates for you to do that. So with that, with that level of encouragement from the coaching staff, then there's responsibility for you to raise your level even more to a higher standard. This is why I think Gilbert Arenas came out. Gilbert Arenas was a second. Now listen, he was solid. He was good at Arizona. He was one of the guys, but he wasn't, picked up second round, but he got with Eddie Jordan, who liked him. The offensive style fit him. And when you've got a coach that pushes you and backs you, it allows you to just kind of be able to do your thing with freedom, and you can become that with some mistakes. And so this USA team was not the best of its best.
No.
And they struggled, and it showed. And it showed also just how good other teams are, but the importance of what the best U.S. offers needs to be participating in order to compete at the level.
So that's why I think LeBron saying he wants to compete again is interesting. Clearly not peak LeBron, not what he would have been in 2008, 12, 16 had he played. But at
It's
least
better than George Karl.
No kidding.
That 2002 team was horrible. Like, I'm sorry.
Pretty bad. Some of the names that LeBron is recruiting, I'll go in order of least interesting to most interesting, at least to me. Anthony Davis, okay, he's his teammate. He's played with him, on Team USA before, whatever. Draymond, we know about their relationship. Draymond's played before, been on those teams. Jason Tatum is a logical guy to, I think, recruit to be that next face. KD, we'll see if he does, given the injuries and how much he's played for Team USA before. The one guy straight that I love that LeBron is reaching out to is a guy that has never played for Team USA in the Olympics before.
Kyrie
has played on World Cup teams, but not in the Olympics. Steph Curry. Steph Curry has not played for Team USA in the Olympics. He'd be 36 at these next Olympic games. So again, getting up there in age. But to me, winning Olympic gold would make Steph's resume basically unimpeachable. To say he made the Olympic team, even at the end of his career, to, average 15, 20 points a game, shoot well from three, lead Team USA to gold. I love the idea of Olympic gold medalist Steph Curry.
Yeah, I think his legacy is already solidified, but that addition to it would be a great to go out, because shortly he probably would never make another one.
No,
not
at 40.
Not at 40. So yeah, I think that the timing's right for that to happen. Steve Kerr obviously is a good coach. You feel bad for him. Maybe what he was gifted and given, not much. Tyronn Lue, there's good coaches there. Spoelstra. I mean, I'm sure they were coached well. I just don't think that the talent level was able to measure up with some of the best in the world.
I want to get back to the coaching here in just a sec. I talked about that with my guys on Corner 3 last night. I'd love to get your perspective on it. Some of the other names being floated out there to fill out that Team USA roster. Devin Booker, who played in 2021. Dame Lillard, who played in 2021. De'Aaron Fox, who I think could be fun in FIBA rules. Kyrie.
Very guard laden.
Don't do it. Don't take Kyrie.
Very guard laden.
And then some other guys thrown out to round out the roster. Bam Adebayo, who didn't really do that much in the Olympics. I wasn't very impressed with him at that level. Jaren Jackson Jr. foul machine clearly proved he couldn't hack it.
I'm thinking about our big man. Who? I mean, some of the best big men in the game right now are foreign.
Pretty much all of them.
You know what I mean?
You don't trust AD against Sabonis, Jokic, Giannis.
Period.
Which makes this interesting, Strick. Team USA and France are both currently recruiting Joel Embiid to play for them the 2024 Olympic Games.
Wow. I would say the USA would need him.
France has Gobert.
I would say if they land Embiid, France could be dangerous in the front court. Oh my goodness. They could be dangerous in the front court.
A disappointed France that bowed out of the World Cup earlier than anyone anticipated, adding a Joel Embiid, anxious to prove himself after NBA shortcomings. Watch out.
Yeah, that could be a dangerous combination. I think he'd probably have more fun probably playing with the USA guys, you know, those early plus one to establish himself and show that, you know, he's on the level. But I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see. I look around the landscape though, and I don't
Walker Kessler.
I don't see how we're going to measure up in the front court against most, you know, foreign European teams. You know, it's not, the math ain't mathin'.
The only way that math becomes mathin' is if you have a lot of knockdown 3-point shooters, which Team USA also didn't do.
And then again, LeBron plays 4. I still don't think KD is strong enough on the European game to play 4.
No, that's an overseas 3.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't see it. Help me if I'm out of line, if I'm out of place. I don't see it. I still think we come up short, possibly.
Let's talk about the coaching aspect then. So Steve Kerr coached, Greg Popovich took over, did win the Olympic gold. Wasn't always pretty at times. We know what this team did with Kerr. I get the NBA guys, like you said, good staff. Like that's a fantastic group of guys to have together coaching basketball. But Strick, they have so little time together, and they're trying to implement new system after new system after new system. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News put out a piece kind of on that topic. I get why you go with an NBA guy for the professionalism aspect, relate to it. He knows what the players are going through. Team USA's best sustained run, though, was under Coach K, a college coach. I'm not saying college coaches are better than pro coaches. That's not how it works. But college coaches coach half the games. It's a year-round job, but not to the same degree as the professionalism and being really the face of a franchise like an NBA head coach is. So to me, that's where I think Mark Few, who is an assistant on staff, could make some sense. My favorite pick for a former college guy is Jay Wright, who doesn't have a job right now. He's just doing analyst work. Or what about Brad Stevens, who's in the front office for the Celtics, who has both aspects of it, did some good things as a coach, but couldn't get the Celtics over the hump. I just don't think it can be a current sitting NBA head coach given their schedule demands.
The schedule demands and the mentality of it, right? Because in the NBA, to them, it's a marathon. So the way you coach, and it's not a marathon, it's AAU, it's you know, tournament style. Now, this mindset could change as the NBA now is going to go to the midseason tournament, and sometimes in that way they may think a little bit differently, but their mindsets are different, you know, so their strategies and the way that they coach, they feel time-wise, the times are also different, the rules are different. You know, so I like the aspect of the coaches being respectable, high level, high intensity, high IQ college coaches being in that position, and you can sprinkle in some good NBA assistants and so forth for the relatability part of it.
I did put out a poll on 93.7 The Ticket. I retweeted it. If you go to Austin_Orman, scroll down a little bit, find the clip. There's a poll for you to vote on Twitter. The best option for Team USA's head coach, Steve Kerr, Jeff Van Gundy, who coached the FIBA team before, Brad Stevens, and then either Jay Wright or Mark Few are your options. Of course, if there's someone else, if you want to nominate Strick, would you take the job if you were offered?
Negative.
You would not?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, maybe don't nominate Strick then, unless we get enough write-in votes. Then Grant Hill's hand would be forced.
I don't want those mental strenuous things on my brain power for that period. No.
Yeah, and you'd be gone too long from on the block. So
I'd have gray hair and don't have hair.
Fair enough. He's Eric Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. You're listening to On the Block here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll wrap the show up next.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Bob just wanted to say thank you for a record-setting July here at Koppel. The summer sales event continues in August, and the incentives are crazy good. Check this out. We got 0.9% financing along with a $2,500 trade-in rebate on select new models. You heard right. 0.9% financing has been extended along with a trade-in rebate. Also, our GM-certified used inventory is filling up fast, so make that money-saving drive to Koppel. It's just south of the interstate, or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit.
The Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, Nebraska National Guard, 55th Wing, and the Lincoln Airport Authority presents the Guardians of Freedom Air Show, featuring the U.S. Navy Blue Angels, the F-16 Viper demo team, F-35, and the Air Force Wings of Blue. Experience a spectacle that your family will remember forever. The Guardians of Freedom Air Show, Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th at Lincoln Air Park. Parking and admission are free. Learn more at LincolnAirShow.com.
Arnold's Tavern in Havelock is the place to be this summer, and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn from some of the best players in town for the Shuffleboard Corner. Come on Sundays for Open House League all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m., and you are always welcome to bring in your own food. Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Warning, this ad will use the F word often, so listen at your own risk. Family fun, fun with friends, freedom from fuel, free Yeti cooler, free driveway delivery. Hey, this is Carl from Nebraska Golf Carts and Price Right Auto, and we have the all-electric Bentelli Fun Carts, and they are a blast. Plenty of fun colors, and these street-legal carts come with both 4 and 6 passenger. Tell us you heard us on the ticket and get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase. Hurry, supply is limited. Check them out at 1235 West O in Lincoln or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
It's less than 1 month until the Guardians of Freedom Air Show comes to Lincoln's Air Park on August 26th and 27th. The show can't happen without the efforts of volunteers, and they need your help. This is a great opportunity to raise money for civic clubs, student organizations, club sports, and others who want to be close to the high-flying action. For more details on how to volunteer at the Guardians of Freedom Air Show, visit LincolnAirShow.com.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415 or online at ambitionelectric.com.
H&H Roofing, established in 2015, is proud to serve the local area, which includes the tri-state area in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. H&H Roofing has a professional team that are licensed and bonded, GAF Master Certified Installers, and an insurance-preferred contractor that will work directly with your insurance company. Also a leading roofer, siding, and gutter specialist. H&H Roofing will service all residential, commercial, and agricultural needs. Go to HandHroofs.com for more information or call 402-359-2546.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Strick and Austin joined by Jay Foreman in the house. What up, Jay? How you doing?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Yeah, it's Taco Tuesday. We found out something today, Jay.
What'd you find out?
Taco John's had a monopoly on the Taco Tuesday name, and they had to do a little relinquish on it. They gave it up for the people. And
they did?
Now we can use it pretty freely. And
good.
They had a trademark on it since the 80s?
85,
89?
89.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
But
crazy.
The more that you know, right?
The more that you know.
So, Jay, we were talking today, really to start off the second hour of the show, about what's fixable and what's not fixable for Husker football.
Right.
Especially over these next 2 weeks where you have to have that sense of urgency to win the game, obviously, but you'd like to think you'll win them.
Sure.
For the Husker offense specifically, what are one or two aspects that you think can improve over these next couple weeks? And what do you think is just stuck where it is just by nature of the roster?
I think everything's, I don't think it's fixable because, to get to where everybody wants, you obviously need some, obviously different, some super high level players. So that's
right. Fixable relative to the current level.
Yeah. So I think they can definitely improve on some stuff. I think they, I look at it, all of it is like a lot of it's self-induced wounds, right? Missing blocks, right? A guy that's right in front of you, right? And you can get more consistent at that. So just say, for instance, just for argument's sake, just say it happened 6 times in the Colorado game. You're right. Just say that, right? And whether it's play side, backside, just whatever, 6 times. Well, if you cut that down to 3, and that's a big jump, right? That's a 50% improvement, right? Then you're really, you're ahead of schedule. And then obviously the turnovers and the ones that aren't even they're turnovers where the defense doesn't do anything. You drop 2 snaps, you snap you have a bad running back quarterback exchange. You hike it and it hits almost had a pretty much a Nebraska style butt fumble. And the interceptions are going to happen because sometimes you play against good defense. Now I'd like to think that when Fedoni's on the sideline, you're not throwing where he was, you got to throw where he's going and where he's at, right? Now, if you eliminate all the not all of them, but 50 or 60% of those self-inflicted wounds, then let's see if somebody can beat us.
You got 3 or 4 extra possessions to work with.
Right. 3 or 4 extra possessions, 6, 7, maybe 8 minutes off the clock.
And field position wise, you're better off because you've given up short fields.
Right. And the defense is better. And overall, you just look like a more tight number. This is not anything that's like you have to move mountains to. And it's hard because at times, you can see that the offensive line has gotten better. Then the question really is, have they hit their ceiling? I say yes, and I say no. I still can't believe that some people are just missing that. I mean, that just right in front of you, right?
Yeah.
So
I was just talking about that.
So
I said they're seeing dead people. They're running the zone like there's some. Okay, have you seen that movie Chronicles of Riddick?
No, but I've heard.
You know what I'm talking?
Yeah.
Okay, so in just I'm gonna give you an example of what this vision is for me. In Chronicles of Riddick, one of the guys, the main guy, the one that's running the enemies,
Right.
he has the ability to be at one place and zoom and leave his figure at one place and be somewhere else. Right? It's like they left their figure and they're there. It's like this ghost figure there, and you're going to block air, but the guy's like over here coming in. That's what it looked like. It's crazy. It's like, how do you run by guys like that
It's
into a
like,
zone?
I would almost, I'll go on record this. I would pay money. I don't know how much I'd pay. I'd probably give them $500 to just say, hey, here's $500 dedicated or donated to the Nebraska football team, which I shouldn't. I would give them $500 to go through a day. Let you come with me, and we gonna prepare properly, sun up to sundown.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you, I can't guarantee it because I know there's some of those kids that do it. I can almost assume with a high
level of certainty,
right?
Okay,
that they could do more because some of those mistakes and stuff like that come from lack of anticipation or preparation from film work. Nothing should catch you by surprise. Looking at your steps over and over and over. I mean, I'd ask them how many of you guys watch football on Sunday? A game, not
just have it on in the background, but actually
sat down,
actively engage in the game.
And it doesn't have to be a game. A half. How many of you guys watch a half? Heck, we can even dummy it down and start at a quarter. Right?
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? How many of you sat down out of your precious time and watched 30 minutes of football? Professional, where you might want to go or where they're doing a lot of the same things, because you can learn so much from that, right? And I think this is a time where you have to really put more time into the details, right? And you do that, you see that, right? Like it's the motion play, right? Everybody's all up and tight. Oh, we got to take it out. Well, you have to do that. If you just line up at places, you're just a sitting duck. I mean, you know that. I mean, so okay.
Yeah, if you're not a dominant force to where you can just line up and debo everybody, you need things to make them move.
You got to create angles for your blockers to run the same plays that you had success in the first and second quarter, and you have to do it because it window dresses. And just that one time that you do it, that linebacker could be a step slow, and you hit a big run, or you get a first down or whatever. But then as a quarterback, when you send him in motion, you can't second pump with your leg until he reaches past the center. Period. Those are the little things. And those are all correctable. Those are all fixable like that. Because if you make a conscious effort of it every single day, it's in your memory bank, so forth and so on. And so, that's what it comes down to. Yeah, everybody can, bang on the quarterback and stuff, but guys got to catch the ball. Maybe we got a little bit out of our sorts when we got down 20-7 and probably tried to match them score for score and panicked a little bit. Maybe I'd like to see them go back to 12 and 13 personnel. But even when we did, I was on another show where, the tight end and the extra big offensive tackle / tight end, they weren't crisp on their double teams, right? So that's where you saw 44 having a couple tackles for losses. Well, that's where you got to really understand. If I'm the wing player and Strick is the tight end / offensive tackle, and we're trying to get Austin, he already has an advantage if the play goes away. So you got to bump him and then
at
go
least
late.
chip him.
Okay, those are the little things that where you got to get in there as a unit, and you got to be in there and hash them out.
Joke's on y'all, though. I'm MC Hammer. Can't touch this.
Because every play counts.
Yes.
Every play counts.
Yes. It doesn't matter if you're a receiver and you're running a route where you don't believe that you're in the play, knowing the quarterback that you have, you still have to run the route.
Yeah.
As if
and be a factor just in case somebody breaks a run, or get an extra block on a defensive back. You don't know whether. I mean, these are the things that they're trying to do, and so it's everybody has to pull a little bit more in the right direction.
Yeah.
And that's the way it goes. You dug yourself a hole. The only thing you can do is dig yourself out of it. Instead of pouting and woe is me, and you got to recognize what you didn't do. There has to be things that you didn't sacrifice up to this point. You know, because realistically, right? Did anybody? I knew. I always said I talked to Strick about this. I knew Colorado was going to be better than what we thought because I know what type of coach Dion is. Did anybody expect them to be top? At least top 25, 22? Probably not. I thought maybe if they got rolling, not this quick, right? So, okay, they got great skilled players. So say like they got hot, you just say they might pull out a victory, right? Are they 22 points better? 29 points? No, I don't think so. But the Minnesota game is the one I don't think it was probably 50-50 and people think we could win, but it probably was 80-20 thinking that we should have won because of the way we played and the opportunities we let go. So you're down one and where you should
be.
And so you got to find a way to, there's that now with the whole Mel Tucker thing and Purdue not looking as good as we, maybe you thought just because of the newness of Walters and stuff as a coach. They are right for the picking. Maryland hasn't hit their stride on offense, even though that they do have a veteran quarterback. The defense matches up better against Maryland than they do, say, like a Michigan or something like that. So now you have opportunities there, but you can't get to those opportunities until you look Northern Illinois dead in the face and get and play to win
that
game
and actually win that game.
Well, yeah, and go out there and play. Like, we're going
to what is it? I know you're going to get into it, but what does it look like if that game, Jay, is like really tight?
It's going to be tight.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you feel about it?
We have to get out of the mindset of thinking that there's a guaranteed victory on there.
No.
So you better, you know what? Show up, buckle up, straight up. Every game we going down to it, and we gotta win. Now, as you start winning more, you figure out that you can figure out ways to pull ahead. But we're in no position to think. That we're gonna just show up and beat them.
Yeah.
You almost won a close game against an opponent like this just for no other reason than you can say, hey, look, we won a close game. We did it, guys. Something to point to.
You just want to go out there.
Or to keep your team basically on their P's and Q's of showing them that there's nothing given. You've got to go out and take it.
Right.
And so as you continue to get into conference play, those close games against teams that most people expect you to win are games that are heart checkers where you as a coach can look him in his face and say, you've got to get better. You've got to get better. You've got to get better. This is no way we should have even been in this game like this. But if you want it to change, then you have to change it. I mean, you're able as a coach to do. If you go out and blow them out, then sometimes you start smelling yourself.
And that's been the rat poison, as Nick Saban said around here. Had to do one good thing, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, we figured it out. That's not the case.
No.
But I don't think Matt Rule and them will do that. I just think that, really, we're going to talk about this in old school. Is like, did we overestimate who we are and where we are, right? And that's like a whole brand thing. I don't necessarily believe. I think when you're trying to change the brand, that's like for a lot of the people behind desks, and then you want to change the brand of football you play. That's the coaches. The brand is how you actually look and operate about yourself. That's where I think there's a disconnect, because you have to understand where we're at and be okay with it. And you can't point fingers and all that other stuff and talk about what somebody did then. We got to deal with right now.
That's a fact.
And that's the hardest thing to do.
Acknowledge the reality without settling for it.
That's the second part. Acknowledging it, obviously be okay with it and understand I don't want to be where I'm at. And let's honestly and factually work towards getting better. Because there's the old thing, man. I remember somebody asked me about the NFL. I was like, I said it's work. I don't see any results. I got a little bit better. Work. Got a little bit better. Didn't see any results. Third year, I was work. Boom, brother got paid.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the way
it breaks through.
Yeah.
And that, again, it goes back to identity. Those are one of the things that we want to try to make sure that we establish over these next few weeks is figuring out who the heck we are. Jay Foreman and DP are going to talk about it on Old School. Me, Austin Orman, and Eric Strickland will be back tomorrow, 2 to 4. We'll see you then. 937 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. We're out of here. Peace.
Our Remington Homes has really expanded and taken off in the last 5 years.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders talking about their exciting new division, Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
The exciting thing about a Remington home is you get to choose your floor plan from predetermined floor plans. You can select your options. We give you a lot of choices. By selecting certain floor plans, they're just easier to build. And you couple that with our great lot selection in all different areas. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading paternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OakStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rug. We've got it all.
Oak Street Carpet.
1752 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trailers for full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Wall to Wall Wine Spirits is now open in